Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryaṃ Karavāvahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Śrīhariṃ paramānandam upadeṣṭāramīśvaram vyāpakaṃ sarvabhūtānāṃ kāraṇaṃ tam namāmyaham. Atma nityo hi sadrupaha deho nityo asanmayaha tayoraikyam prapashyanti kim ajñānamatah param. See, these are the opposites. One is nitya, not bound by time. Nitya. Then this very concept nitya is presented as an opposite of anitya. It looks as though there are two things. One is anitya, the other is nitya. In fact, anitya is nitya. Understand? Anitya is mithya. It is non-separate from nitya. Time is bound by, is the concept of time is but the timeless consciousness. Now, if time is not separate from Sat, what is Sat? Then the time is Satyam. One is Mithya, the other is Satyam. That is the issue. The issue here is, since the Nitya is not understood, whatever that is there is only anitya. This paramarthikam, what is real, is not understood, is not within one's grasp. Therefore, anitya becomes the reality. Dehaha anityaha. This body is available for your objectification. It is bound by time. Drishta-nashta svabhavaha. Once you see the body, you don't see the body again the same way. It's changing. The change is so slow, and within a framework, you are able to recognize. Otherwise, we will be strangers every minute. We are able to recognize. So everything is changing. Therefore, this body which is anitya is taken to be the very nature of Atma. Therefore, the Shastra, the Pramana tells it is nitya. So, anitya is taken for nitya. Nitya is taken to be anitya. What can we do? Just look at this. You say, golden chain. This is a very good example. How our thinking is all mixed up. Golden chain. Chain is the substantive. Golden is adjective. This is a golden example. Golden is an adjective. Now when I search for this substantive, which has got the attribute golden, I don't see a substantive. There is no object called a chain. The weight of chain is weight of gold. The shine of chain is shine of gold. Everything about the chain is gold. Every link is gold. Where is chain? There is no chain. But there is a word chain and a meaning. That meaning is a form, which is an attribute. Form of gold. So gold is the substantive. Chain is an attribute. The chain form is not an intrinsic attribute to gold. The chainness is a mithya attribute, a seeming superimposed attribute. Therefore, what is proper is chainy gold, not golden chain. Chainy gold, bangly gold, ringy gold. That's a correct. But it is laughable if somebody says that. If I change the language to make it more Vedantic, more true, I want some Chinese gold. I would like to see the Chinese gold. I go to a jewelry shop and I ask them, bring all the Chinese gold. What? Chinese gold. They will think that I am off. Understand? Therefore, what do you require is to pass as a sane person. A few more off people, okay? So, therefore, so have a world of off. Then we can pass as brainy, brilliant people. The whole language is wrong. We can't change the language. But we need to understand. Kim ajnanam atah param. The whole mistake the body is an attribute. To a body-free Atma, body is an attribute. Everything is an attribute. Really speaking, is an attribute. Like the chain is an attribute to gold without being an intrinsic attribute, which is a non-chain. Gold is a non-chain. Body is like that. It's an attribute of Atma, that is Satyam, which lends its existence, which lends its Purti, which lends its being for the body to be. When you say the body is, that is consciousness. If the body is conscious, that consciousness belongs to what is Satchit. That is Satyam. Therefore, that is not subject to time. And that is Atma, that is Nityaha, the timeless. Dehaha, Anityaha. And one is Sat Rupaha. Atma is Sad Rupaha, that is what is. And the Deha, the body, is Asad Rupaha. Asad Rupaha means Mithya Rupaha. That which draws its being from the Sat. But still, Tayor Aikyam Prapashyanti. This Dehatmanoho. Between the Deha and the Atma. Aikyam Prapashyanti, people see. These Mahajanaha. Aikyam Prapashyanti, they see. They see, they take it as one. Means I am a mortal, I am fat, I am tall, I am short. as good as the body. இதை விட என்னையா வேணும் அஜ்ஞானம்? கிம் அஜ்ஞானம் அத்தः பரம். You can understand the vichara is, it is not an inquiry into an unknown object. It's an inquiry to separate this kind of aikyam, resolving a confusion. An inquiry to resolve a confusion. Atma is totally ajñātah. Atma is not totally unknown. The whole starting point is I am. Everything else comes later. So I am is prasiddha, is evident, self-evident. As self-evident I is a sitting duck for committing a mistake. And for which you need to have ignorance. That's our capital. And therefore, so we don't lack ajnanam. So until it is known, this ajnanam goes away. Ajnanam is. Ajnanam has its being, ignorance has its being because of the Atma. The object of ajnanam is Atma. And its being also, ajnanam is because of Atma. Ajnanam is recognized because of Atma. Like the sun is not seen, but you see the clouds. That you are able to see the clouds because of the sun. If the sun is not above the clouds, you can't see the clouds. And somebody says there is no sun. You know? Kim ajñānam atah param. Atmanastat prakāshatvam yat padarthavabhasanam nāgnyādi dīptivat dīptihi bhavat āndhyam yato nishi. Atmanaha tat prakāshatvam yat prakāshatvam. Okay. Yat padartha avabhasanam. Yat padartha avabhasanam tad atmanaha prakāshatvam. Avabhasanam. An object comes to be recognized. Avabhasate. Shabdadi sarvam. Shabdadinam padarthanam yat avabhasanam. Shabda, what do you hear? Sparsha, what you experience as touch, as an object of touch. Cold, hot, soft, hard. Sparsha. Rupa, form, color, red, blue. Big, small, various objects, forms. Hrasva, dirgha. It is short, it is long, it is tall. Rasa, taste. Sweet, bitter. Gandha, the smell. The smell of rose, the smell of jasmine, the perfume of samsara. You must completely change your tone when you come to perfume. You can't talk perfume. No. Change. Like a missionary talking. God. So this... So these are the padarthaha, shabdadayaha. Ye padarthaha. So these various padartha. Padartha means an object of a word. An object. In general, object. So all these objects come to light. Come to light. Eyes objectify. Ears objectify the sounds. Each sense organ has its own sphere or of objectification. What eyes can objectify, ears cannot objectify. That's why they are different. Otherwise, with one sense organ, we can conduct our life. We need these 5, minimum 5. And it's enough. You don't require ESP. If you develop ESP, that is the beginning point. Beginning. Oh, what is the end? End? Entry into an institution. So, therefore, this 5 senses objectify. With instruments, without instruments, objectify. These are all padarthaha. Then there are inferred padarthaha. Not visible padarthaha. Forces, fields. There are fields. There is also padartha. Recognized fields. A magnetic field. The gravitational field. These fields really make it happen. All of them are padartha. Sarve padartha. So the senses objectify. But the senses themselves are subject to objectification. The mind objectifies them. Mind also is subject to objectification. Therefore, padarthanam avabhasanam, what objectifies the mind? Including your ahankara, the changing, the hearer, the seer. That is, yat padarthanam avabhasanam tat atmanaha. Here he says prakāṣatvam. This is the beauty. If I say Atma is consciousness, if you ask me what is consciousness, what can I say? Consciousness. What will you say? What will you say? I will say, consciousness is one because of which you see me to ask the question, what is consciousness? That is consciousness. You see me, chakshushas chakshuhu, shrotrasya shrotram, the eye of the eye, ear of the ear. That is consciousness. You don't require words. Why do you require words? Why do you require words? You don't require words. We use a word consciousness to point out that which is self-evident, self-revealing, just to point out. Like even, I cannot describe. If you ask a question, can you tell me what is sweetness? What is sweetness? That's a very sweet question. What is sweetness? you ask sweetly, will you please explain to me what is sweetness? Oh, that's a nice way of, sweet way of asking a question. So, what is sweetness? Now I have to answer. Sweetness. However eloquent you are, how are you going to answer? Sarasvatyapi vaktum na shakyate. Bhamatikara. Even goddess of knowledge, you ask a question. Saraswati Amma. What she will say? She will smile sweetly and say, sweetness you want to know? Come on. Take this. That is kindness. Take this. A sugar crystal. Put it in your mouth. What do you experience? What is that? If the fellow doesn't know, we will tell. Let us call it sweetness, okay? Let us call it sweetness. You understand? In English language, sweetness. Madhuryam. In every language, there's a word. Let us call it sweetness. Therefore, by saying sweetness, I am not describing anything. And there cannot be another word to reveal sweetness. In fact, you need to have, look at this word, sweetness cannot be revealed by any number of words. Neither the word itself reveals. The word itself doesn't reveal anything. And to reveal the meaning of the word sweetness, I cannot use any other word. Any number of words are useless. Even sweetness is beyond words. This is from this alone this experience idea came. These mandus, they are called mandus, mandukaha. And this is the frog thinking. The frogs enter into Vedanta world and they analyze Vedanta Shastra and then they come up with ideas. What? It cannot be. This is frog talking. The Guru frog. It cannot be. It cannot be. It cannot be expressed by words. It has to be experienced. Mandu. Why? Because at least sweetness, you have to taste something sweet and you have to be told that what do you taste is sweetness. Let us call it sweetness. Hereafter, when I say sweet, you know. You know. When I say bitter, you know. You know, if I say insipid, you know. Neither sweet nor bitter, nor, you know, but it's insipid. Here you have to experience. Experience means you have to objectify by a sense organ. This is true with every sense object. Not only sweetness. If I ask you what is red, what are you going to do? What is red? You can't explain. And if I persist, you get angry, your eyes turn red, then you can say, what you see in my eyes now, that is red, okay. Or prick him, what comes out, that is red. Okay. You cannot. All these need to be objectified by the eyes, by the ears, everything. A sound also. What is the note? What is dore? What is mifa? How are you going to explain? You need to objectify. Here at least you need to objectify. But whereas, when I say consciousness, you don't need to objectify. You don't need senses. You don't need mind even. Mind means a thought to objectify. A thought to objectify. What is self-revealing? This is Atmanaha Prakashatvam. Yena padarthanam avabhasanam tata atmanaha prakashatvam. Shrotrasya shrotram chakshushas chakshuhu. Beautiful. The Upanishad tells what is Atma, eye of the eye. Don't think that is somewhere down below is Atma. Down below because in between there are so many things. Whatever that is there, that is all Atma. The whole thing is Atma. That is why chakshushas chakshuhu. Eye of the eye. Padarthanam avabhasanam. Is not even eye of the eye. Whatever sight takes place, a sight, the object of sight is object consciousness. Object consciousness. You don't wait for consciousness. If you look up, sky is consciousness. That's consciousness. And therefore, this is Atmanaha Prakashatvam. This Prakashatvam na Agnyādi Deeptivat Deeptihi Bhavati. There is a verse called one verse Vedanta. Ekashloki. Single verse Vedanta. Ekashloki. Starts like that. How do you see? during the day, it is Bhanuhu in the night, it is stars, it is moon, it is sources of light. Then question is asked, how do you see them? How do you see the sun? How do you see the moon? How do you see the stars and other sources of light for you to say they are there? And all objects reflect that light, the light of all this. Then they come to light for the eyes. Okay? How do you see them? The sources of light. He says, chakshuhu, eyes. This, a pair of eyes, catuṣṭayam. Then, tasya nimilanādi samaye kim jyoti. When the eyes are closed, still you see. Still you see. Eyes are closed. You see the eyes are closed, the fact. Then there must be some light. What is that light? The answer is, that is the light of consciousness, which is the light of consciousness, which is the same in you, in everyone, one light of consciousness. That is Akhanda Jyoti. That is one Jyotis, one light of consciousness. Therefore, when we use the word, the light of Atma, because of which everything comes to light, don't go away with the idea that Atma is blue light or some light. Don't go away with the idea, it's not a physical light we are talking about. That is why I said it is a light of consciousness. Atmanaha prakāshatvam. This word prakāshatvam, light, comes from a famous illustration. So, a discussion through analogy, handled by the Shruti. All objects come to light for the eyes, the visual perception. Eyes are great, capable of seeing, but not without light. Not without light. Eyes require help. That is why this is always used. Ears can hear without light. You don't require any other thing. Similarly, smell, taste, etc. But whereas eyes depend upon light. That is the example used. Very beautiful. Because any sight is in terms of light, stimuli. The reflected light, rays of light. Either the object should emit light, itself being luminous, or it should reflect light. Swami is visible because Swami is radiant. Radiant Swami. Hey, isotope Swami. What are you talking? So this is so the body reflects light. I'm not isotope. This body reflects light. The body reflects light, you see. It's a reflected light. Always reflected light you pick up. So look at this, how the Shruti takes off. I find this takeoff wonderful takeoff. It's just sitting there like a helicopter, boom, it goes up. It's so beautiful. Just once this is understood, it is in terms of light. So objects come to light. Therefore, without light, no object comes to light. Look at this now. These sources of light also, like the sun, like the moon, they don't come to light unless they are also lighted. They depend upon some other light. What is that light? Suppose you say there is light and then this is light. How do you get this? They come to light. Eyes, the light in the eyes. The light in the eyes. With the help of the light, opaque objects come to light. Opaque objects come to light. Reflected light come to light. The sources of light themselves come to light because of the light in your eyes. This is the takeoff. The light in your eyes. Then you objectify eyes also. Andya mandya patutveshu netra dharmeshu ekada pashyati manaha. So, when the eye doctor asks you, do you see now? Do you see now? Do you see now? You have to say, with what light you are able to say that eyes are able to see, not able to see. What light? That light is no more physical light, understand? Already we have come to the light of the eyes, which is not physical light. The light in the eyes. The light in the eyes is the light of the mind. Light in the eyes is because of the mind. The mind lights up the eyes. The mind lends its light to the eyes. It is the light of the mind. And the mind itself is lighted up. But what? The thoughts are lighted up. They are objects of light. So what is that light? That is the light. Jyotir Jyotihi. Swayam Jyotihi. It is the light of light. Self-revealing self-shining, self-illuminating light, a light of consciousness. Therefore, this is not Deepadivat Deepti. Otherwise, in the night, everything will be dark. You are aware of darkness, correct? You are conscious of darkness. Light goes off. Fellow was eating. The fellow was eating. And nobody puts the food in the ears. The fellow continues to eat. And goes to the mouth. When the eyes don't function, still there is a light. That light is light of consciousness. It is not light. It is not light. Therefore, this is, he says, na agnyādi deeptivad deeptihi bhavati. Why? Yataha nishi andyam bhavati. Why? Because in the night, it will be darkness. If it is like a light. But because even in the night, you are conscious. You are conscious of all lights. Idea is the word prakashatvam. The light, it is used only from the standpoint of the example of eyesight. Eyes can see with the help of light. That is the example. Without light, objects cannot be seen. This is the idea. Without light, objects cannot be seen. Without light of consciousness, object cannot be seen. Objects are seen. Objects are objectified. Eyes, ears, all of them. Senses are five. Five different objects. But the light is one and the same. Light of consciousness, one and the same. The varieties of perception, that's all Ishvara. That is where Ishvara comes into the picture. Eyes, ears. Consciousness is one and the same. Iti, now he points out what is the nature of Atma. Bodha Swarupaha. Atma is Chaitanya Swarupa, Bodha Swarupa, Chit Swarupa. It is light of consciousness. And if that is true, then what is consciousness, we ask me, because of which everything comes to light, that is consciousness. You don't need even to objectify. Even though sweetness cannot be described by words, but it can be objectified. Here it doesn't need to be objectified, because of which all objects come to light. Self-revealing is consciousness. Very beautiful. And from there, Aparoksha Anubhuti is a topic. The topic is now slowly So this understanding Atma. Then there is beautiful words are there coming. So we will see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purn. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.